Look at that. Wow, what an unbelievable image here. Welcome to Dan's on this Street. I'm Dan. Today we're in Russia in the city of Volgograd, sitting here north of the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea on the Volga River. It's a historic city. A very big battle happened here during World War II. We're going to explore all that. I'm excited to check this out. Sitting here on a very large river here. Well, let's drop right in and move on out. Somewhere in here to start. Okay, we're on the ground here looking at August 2017, so pretty recent. Looks like there's train system here, or maybe just a tunnel underneath that street. Let's move down here. Pretty street views here. Nice look to all these buildings. Interesting. Clearly rails up here for either a bus system, I guess. Electrified. Shopping all through here. I like this pass-through. That's pretty. Interesting. Well, this city was founded in 1555, quite a while back. And it was a small kind of outpost. It was a really small city and fortress for hundreds of years, really. Very busy out here now, isn't it? Let's move down here. Tons of people out. Interesting. Very lively. I always feel weird when I'm moving against traffic like this. I feel like I should be going the other way. I read back in like 1708, there were still only 400 people here or so quite small. And then within a century, it kind of started ballooning, and there was up to 84,000 were here just 100 years later, so rather quickly it grew as it expanded as a port city on the river, a river port city. I like the look of all these buildings. There's something nice about them. Good character. Looks like they're well built, you know what I mean? Like, just looks like nice structures. Balconies on almost every apartment has a balcony. Older place here too. Interesting. Back in the day, it was called Tsaritsyn. Hey, look at this. Can we go over here? I don't think... Oh, we just passed right through that construction zone. It was called Tsaritsyn, obviously with the name Tsar in there. And that was the name for a long time. Clearly they're putting in new pipes here, plumbing system or something, or possibly gas, I guess. Kind of looks like a gas pipe, not certain. It's a bust of somebody there. Interesting. Yeah, it held that name for a long time, and it wasn't until, let's pop up. It wasn't until 1925, after the Russian Civil War happened, that the name was changed in honor of Stalin, and it was called Stalingrad. And if that name sounds familiar to you, it's because it's the site of one of the deadliest battles, and just one of the worst and darkest times in World War II, and in all of the history of battles, basically. Nearly 2 million, maybe more than 2 million people died here, right here, during World War II. This is obviously really beautiful here. Lovely statue. And this looks like a theater, maybe, or something. Great look to that building. Like this big plaza here. This is really nice. Doesn't feel overcrowded right now, too. Nice morning light here. Looks like they're building or working on something big back in there. From above it looked like there was a big church. Oh, yeah. Looks like they're rebuilding this church, maybe. Interesting. From above it looked fully built. I'm not sure what's going on with that. This building has a great look to it. I like these big old the lettering you'll see. You see this in a lot of, former Soviet places. I guess all around the world even, but something kind of classic about that to my eyes. Let's head down towards this building. This is pretty neat. No, this is really neat. What is this? This is a train station, maybe? I'm not quite sure. Didn't notice this. Kind of looks like it. Clearly some monuments and statues here related, I think, to that fight. Or maybe the Russian Civil War, I'm not sure. Tons of people here with bags arriving, it looks like. This has got to be a train station, I think. Interesting. Definitely some construction happening around here. The city's population is around just over 1 million, which I actually thought the number would be a little higher, but it's really not a huge city. I mean, 1 million is plenty, obviously. But somehow I thought the number would be even higher. Interesting. I like this part of town over here too. Businesses, apartments, restaurants. This looks like a nice little place here. Can't quite tell what that is, but it looks like they have a plate symbol there and a coffee cup. I think I'd go in there. Not quite sure what they're selling, but I'm sure I'd enjoy it. Interesting view here. Look at this design work. That's definitely kind of dated, but interesting nonetheless. Yeah, so back in 1942, August, the Germans and their other Axis powers attacked Stalingrad, and they were not immediately successful. The city defended itself very well, much better than the German forces were anticipating. They totally bombed out this place, just demolished it. Really, really devastating. Again, well over 1 million killed, maybe over 2 million, which is just a staggeringly horrific number. Let's pop up here. Try to get some sense of this. I love how many parks there are here. Lots of green zones. This whole area is all parks. I mean, look at all the kind of green spaces you have here, set aside as, I assume, public lands. Interesting. Let's drop down right here. Oh, if we can. Looks like there's a chapel. Oh, this is a pretty view down here. Oh, I'd love to go for an evening stroll right through this park. Interesting. Trimmed back some trees there. Haven't taken them down fully yet, I guess. Yeah, it looks very pretty out here, though. I love these views. They call that magic hour, right? As the sun's setting. It's very pretty. Here's this cathedral. Again, we saw this from the side. I guess it's under construction here or something. I don't know if they're rebuilding that or just building it. That's kind of unexpected. Let's move down along this greenway. Really pretty street down here. This is so nice. Let's go over here. We'll head the correct way with traffic. That feels better, right? Some of these buildings obviously survived the war. This one, I would guess, dates prior to it. But some of the images I saw on Wikipedia are just, quite shocking. If you look up Battle of Stalingrad, if you want to read about it, definitely worth learning about if you don't know much about it. I suppose, a little, but it was definitely enlightening and refreshing my memory to read about it. Some bigger buildings going up here. Oh, they're here too. Definitely a city that's growing. It's not growing dramatically quickly, but I read that the population is slowly inching up, a few thousand a year maybe. Look at this structure here. I don't know. That's pretty interesting. I don't know if I like that. Kind of odd. Yeah, it's just vintage, sort of. It's got that look. Vintage look. Not my favorite style. Nice wide streets. Plenty of shopping down here. Nice happy cookie there. Interesting. Yeah, so the city was totally surrounded. Residents fought for their lives, and this army was here. Residents fought for their lives, and the army was here, of course, and they were able to defend themselves over the course of that winter of 43, and the Soviet forces were actually able to outflank the Axis powers and trapped them, surrounded them, and then they were done basically after a few more weeks or months. They ran out of food and ammunition, and they surrendered. And I can't imagine that... Well, I don't know what happened to those soldiers, but I doubt it ended well. I'm not sure of the history there. But really brutal time. Hard to believe that was even, just 75 years ago. Feels like longer than that. Huge grain storage building here. Massive place. It's a serious industry town. Lots of production happening here. Boy, that's massive. I think I saw this in a picture actually from the war. This building. If I'm not mistaken, there's a photo on Wikipedia that was taken from right about here. I think. I could be wrong. And it was all bombed out and stuff. Crazy. All right, let's pop up. Interesting. Yeah, it's a really wide river here, the Volga River. And then there's kind of interesting, nothing... I mean, this all looks like wetlands or just... I don't know if it's preserved space. Not sure why the city hasn't expanded much on this side. Obviously a bit here. Oh, well, quite a good bit, I guess. But clearly it's mostly on the western bank here. Very green through here. Some farming happening for sure. There's really only one bridge here. Oh, okay, there's another one all the way up there, but this is the main one. Let's pop on this bridge, just get a look at things. Really wide river. Yeah, you can see why this would be an important place, especially because it feeds out to the Caspian Sea, I believe. Here's a view of the skyline. This is a brand new soccer stadium they just built. They built that, finished in 2018, I read, for the World Cup that was here. We'll go over and check that out after this, all right? Really nice views coming into the city here, across the bridge. Some newer stuff going up. Big shopping center here, it looks like. Tons of traffic, tons of cars in there at least. Interesting. There's all kinds of neat buildings here. I can tell what's going on here. Tons of history and museums, I think. Old cultural buildings. Look at this place. Wow. Some old faces of the Soviet Revolution. Pretty neat though. I wonder if there were mass rallies around here, possibly. I don't know. Oh, can we get out on this road? Yes, eventually. well fit. Lots of people out enjoying the day here. Looks very pretty out. Very green. Interesting building here. Yeah, I imagine the vast majority of these buildings were built after the, say, 1950s. Oh, look at that. All right, we're going to get over there. I read about that. That is a massive statue. All right, first let's check out the stadium. Clearly it's under construction here, looking at August 2017. Pretty neat. Kind of exoskeleton there. Volgograd Arena. Let's drop inside. Oh man, look at a drone shot from above. Well, this is not what I was expecting, but this is kind of awesome. Here's a view of things. Look at that construction project. Great view over here, across the city. Pretty neat. Definitely be cool to check out a soccer game here at the stadium. Looks like a power plant here, maybe. Steel plant, possibly. And there's that distant statue. Wow. The statue is called The Motherland Calls. Let's go over and see it. This is 85 meters tall. Oh my goodness. Look at this thing. Look at that. Wow. When it was built, this was the tallest statue in the world. Man, massive. Wow. Yeah, again, it's called The Motherland Calls. Oh, we just fell. Okay. Clearly a memorial of some sort in here. Like an eternal flame or something. It's pretty interesting. I like this tile glasswork. I wasn't ready to leave that. That was too interesting. Let's drop back down. Yeah, this is the tallest in the world when it was built. Oh my heavens. Look at this shot here. Look at that. Wow, what an unbelievable image here. Man. With that sword. Huh. Pretty cool old church there, too. Kind of a reflecting pool down there. All of this is in honor of the tremendous losses the city endured, the inhabitants endured back in 1942 and 43. Yeah, it was the tallest in the world at the time. It's now the 9th tallest in the world, which that is an interesting Wikipedia page if you ever want to see something kind of, well, just a neat page if you haven't seen it, is check out the tallest statues in the world Wikipedia page. I looked at it. I thought, like, okay, well, I don't know, Statue of Liberty. That's pretty tall. What's that got to be? You know, number 5. It's number 48. There's 47 statues taller than the Statue of Liberty, which is pretty remarkable to me. And today that statue we just looked at there, that's actually number 9 now. So a lot of big ones are going up in like India and China. Oh, we're already kind of near here. Let's head away from there at least. Into the sunlight. Big buildings here, tons of apartments. I read that the citizens here still debate changing the name back to either the previous names, either Tsaritsyn or Stalingrad. I guess like both of those people, some people living here would be interested in reverting the name back to. It was changed in 1961 following the war, when there was basically new Soviet leadership. Kind of wanted to remove some of Stalin from their naming structure in the cities. Tons of mega shopping area here. Let's drive in here. You know you'd be around here if you've lived at some point you're going to end up in this mega shopping center. Look at all these signs. Is that a pool? Not quite sure. Tons of shops. I don't know if I've ever seen so many signs like that. Great old building back in there. Can't quite get a good view of it. Wow. Wonder what this was way back. Not in great shape anymore, I'd say. Interesting. Granite, ceramic. All right. Get your countertops here. I think there are a few granite countertop places there, it looked like. Trains come through here. I read that was a big thing. The industry really grew as this became more of a serious port city. You don't see a lot of evidence being a port city today. I don't know where the port would be. At least I don't feel like I see a lot of evidence of it. But it became a major train hub. Trains arrived here in 1862, sorry. Interesting. And obviously that helped connect it to, just everywhere. Let's visit a neighborhood up here. Nice homes. Quiet street here. Can't tell if we're on an alley or a street. I guess it's essentially a street. Seems a little unfinished, but no sidewalks here. Just kind of, but it seems really quiet, like old vehicle there. Mixture of vehicles. Some European. I saw a BMW back there. I like the look of this place. It's pretty unique. This one too. Here's a brand new house going up. Let's move towards this unique building here in the distance. Wow. Pretty interesting old place there. Not really paved much back in here. A little bit, maybe. I guess maybe it's just kind of older pavement. I like this view of this guy walking here. Classic, kind of. I don't know. Looks like it's out of a movie to my eyes. Peaceful life back up in this part of town, right? Biking with kids. Maybe some fruit trees. Some new apartment buildings in the distance. Well, maybe not new. Got tricked there. I thought those looked new, but I think it might just be newer paint. Interesting. Wonder what this is. Looks like a university or a school. Very green up here. Very green. Interesting. Yeah. Boy, I'd sure love to visit here someday. I bet there's just a lot of museums and just history to explore. Obviously, not just from its darkest days, but I'm sure from other days of before then. This looks like a graveyard up here, maybe. Possibly. Yeah, I think that's a graveyard. Pretty quickly, things get barren out here. Oh yeah, definitely a graveyard. Boy, I'd love to walk through those graveyards. That'd be an interesting. You can learn a lot walking through a graveyard, even if you know almost nothing. As long as you can understand, when people died and stuff. And obviously, if you can read some of the messages, you can really learn a lot about their religion and family structure. In the U.S., you can really tell, what group of people was living in the area. What were there Germans who lived here? I find it interesting. Kind of a dreary day here. Wet, cold, October. And then you pop out and it's August and sunny and so much nicer. That's always amusing to me on this platform. You can go from dreary and suddenly you jump forward a couple years and a few months and it's just like super lovely and pleasant. Mom out with kids. Nice playground there. Just having a good time here. All right, maybe one more place. Well, maybe two more places. I want to make sure I see this. Looks like a big hydroelectric power plant here. Wow, major. Okay. Major power plant. Boy, I feel like it didn't look this big from above, but obviously serious power being generated here. I don't think I've ever seen a structure like this. These big things look like they move along rails here. These aren't stationary buildings. You can tell they have wheels, but then they have big offices or something up top. I'm trying to think what the value of that would be. I'm not sure. It's pretty neat though. Big wide river. Huh. Very cool. Yeah. How about that? Yeah, I guess it does kind of feel like 1 million people. It is quite large. Neat. All right, one more place here. One more place, and we're going to call it a day here. Let's see, maybe on the river. Get a nice, one more river view. A drone shot here. And a beautiful one at that. Look at this. Lovely view of the town over there to the left. Look at the moon reflecting on the river here. Gorgeous. Look at that light. Looks like there's a Ferris wheel set up here. I didn't notice that one on the ground. There's that new stadium. This is a really neat image. There's the statue and that little church there. And there it is. Volgograd, formerly Stalingrad, formerly Tsaritsyn, and who knows what it'll be in the future. Maybe just Volgograd, I don't know. That was really neat to explore. If I missed if you live in Volgograd, thanks for watching. And if I missed some of your favorite places, let me know, and I will come back and check them out, I promise. I always do. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Give it a share around. Let me know in the comments where you want me to visit next. I also have a poll I post every time I share one of these videos. And you can vote on where I'm going to go next. Usually put up a couple options. And here, all these pins represent other places I've been around the world, so check out some of my other videos. Slowly exploring the world, city by city. All right, till next time.